Episode 3473, When in Doubt, Step Out.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Kristianne Wargo.
Happy day. Are you ready for a brand new week? Come on. It is Mindset Monday, and I want you to get your head on straight. Oh, yeah? Maybe you left it somewhere else? Well, it's time to screw it on the right way. When in doubt, step out. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already haven't had the opportunity, you want to head on over to createyournow.com, where you can learn more and sign up for the Kisses newsletter, the Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, Inspiring Connection and Community. Okay, deep breath, because we are on a roller coaster of a ride. Oh, yes, I am so excited. You know, it's going to be a long 2 weeks for me. I'm just going to be honest with you. We've got renovations going on in our house to the point where I'm like, do I really have time to do all that I'm doing right now? Literally, daily podcasting, getting the TV show writing. We've got 4 more episodes that we're going to be filming here this weekend. And then on top of that, I'm supposed to be monitoring and making major decisions on my home, which some of them I've already made, but then it's like, okay, what's next? And believe it or not, I'm actually doing things along with them because we're doing some things that have to be done by somebody else, and then I have to do some things. And then I've got my kiddos coming back from internships, and I'm trying to get their rooms ready. I mean, it's one thing after another. Oh, and we are redoing the website. Have you ever found yourself in that season where you're just like, I can't slow down, but I need to slow down? And now you're beginning to doubt every step that you take. In fact, to the point where it's fight, flight, or freeze, but you don't really like the fight or the fright, so you just freeze. Why does self-doubt have to derail us so quickly? All that second guessing, disrupting our rhythms of success. And that success is how you define it. It's not my definition, it's your definition. Your success today may be getting your laundry done. Whoop, whoop. I love that. For me, the last couple of days, I have been doing the puppy's laundry. Yes, we've had lots and lots and lots of rain. And so when the puppy goes outside, I have to dry him off. And it's just this whole, process, which is fine. But then the towels were left out. So we've got like 4 or 5 puppy towels outside, drenched by the rain. Then he comes in, and what is it? I mean, I love puppies. But that wet dog smell, can I just be so honest? Yuck. It just doesn't smell good. And then you have that mustiness that it brings in, right? So now I'm doing laundry for the dog. Not even for me, for the dog. I'm like, I'm never going to get my laundry done. In fact, I was supposed to do my laundry and already forgot about it because I was doing his laundry. So you begin to sit here and think, I can't juggle it all. There's no way. We had tax-free weekend this past weekend, which was fabulous. It's great. That means we got to get ready for school. Not so great. I mean, it is great, right? Maybe for some of you, you're like, yes, send the kids back to school. I don't want them around anymore. I was one who it always made me sad. I love having my kiddos around. And as they are getting older, I appreciate their presence that much more. Now, I can tell you when they were underneath my roof 24/7, 365, or 366 on a leap year, yes, it's like, okay, I need a break. And I'd put myself in timeout. I would go sit in my car in the garage. Why? To create like a triple barrier so I could just breathe for a moment. And all these seasons that we have coming at us, right? Difficult ones, funny ones that you're like, I really don't want to make another decision, but I'm going to have to. We began to find ourselves at that crossroad going, is this really where I'm supposed to be? Am I doing too much? Don't lean too much into the shadow of hesitation and insecurity. All those question marks that come up in your head. When in doubt, step out. Because in a world where self-doubt often infiltrates our mind and holds us back, right? It's like it seeps in the cracks and crevices. It's like, I got you this time. But the problem is it gets us every time. Fight, flight, or freeze. And that concept of taking action becomes this beacon of hope and a pathway to progress if only you can unfreeze yourself. If only you can get your legs to move. If only you can think beyond, what am I supposed to be doing? I don't think I can do this. It's in these moments that we must remember that action, no matter how small, maybe it's just putting the puppy's towels, taking them off the chairs outside and getting them into the washing machine. Just that amount can serve as a catalyst for change and growth in my day. Wouldn't you like that in your everyday? Wouldn't you like to think that one little action could then spiral into something greater change, greater growth? One step at a time, it leads to miles of greatness. I don't know if you're watching the Olympics. I love the Olympics. I have them on basically 24/7. I do. I'm weird like that. And we won't talk about how weird I am because, well, I am. That's why you're listening to me, right? I get to tell you all my stories. But it's one of these stories I caught the cycle, and it was for mountain biking. And the one who won gold medal was from France. And I apologize, France, I do not remember her name. And this was for the women, and it's mountain biking. And so she wins by a good margin. But then it's the push for silver and bronze. And in second place is Haley Batten. Last year in Tokyo, not last year, 4 years ago in Tokyo, she got 9th place. And now she's hanging on to the possibility of getting a silver medal. And as I was watching the last part of her mountain biking journey, I mean, there were some dips in there, and I was like, oh dear, if she just like hits a root the wrong way, if she just skids over, like she's done. And she's sitting in second place. So if she can just stay enough ahead of the person behind her, which was a Swedish woman, and I apologize, Sweden, I do not remember her name. If she could just stay ahead of her, she just might have that chance. So there she comes out of the clearing from the trees and the rocky ground. And all of a sudden it's smooth sailing. And there she goes. And you can find that she is pulling every bit of muscle from her legs, digging deeper than she's ever dug before to get across that finish line and raise her arms. The first silver medal that we here of the United States has ever received in mountain biking. Do you think that if she would have had the mindset of, I got 9th in Tokyo, I just don't think I'm going to even try. How do you think that would serve her? Obviously, she didn't let that happen, right? Why? Because she took a step out. You can only imagine the doubt that she had, right? She was already at the Olympics. She was already an Olympian, but she didn't even place. She was 9th. Now, don't get me wrong, 9th in the world on mountain biking. I mean, who would have thought? I mean, that's awesome. But you want the first, second, or third, right? I mean, that's what is really rewarded. And so here she makes it again on the Olympic team. And she doesn't let what she didn't do 4 years ago in Tokyo stop her from doing what she did yesterday in France. Taking that one step helps you to break free from self-doubt while propelling yourself toward your dreams. She had a dream. Haley Batten had a dream. Do you have a dream? Yeah, maybe it's not to be in the Olympics. But you're not going to be able to realize that dream or the extent of that dream unless if you overcome doubt. So that journey of overcoming doubt and embracing moving forward begins with the simple yet profound shift in your thoughts, which leads to your behaviors defined by your mindset. My friend, it's time to take aim. That is your kiss to keep it simple strategy. Take aim. Action ignites motivation. Stop bending to the feeling that you can't do something. Stop second guessing yourself. Frozen is great for the movies, but not for your life. Take aim. Action ignites motivation. This life, this journey that you're on, deserves your full attention. And when you're willing to take aim, you take that motivation and it becomes fuel to your thoughts, which leads to your behaviors defined by your mindset. Do you see how all of this is intertwined? Don't give up on your dreams. Now, some, yeah, you may have to put them on the back burner or they just disappear because life happens and you took a little different twist or turn. I did. Believe it or not, I wanted to be an Olympian. Yeah, I was one of those weird ones. It had nothing to do with mountain biking, except maybe I would have had the legs probably. But my love was ice skating. But injury after injury after injury, it just wasn't possible. I was there, close, but I couldn't cut it. But just because you put away one dream doesn't mean you don't have another one or two or three or four, right? You should always be looking for dreams. You should always be dreaming, right? Dreaming is that breath of fresh air, that revival to your soul that says you're alive. Let's go further than you could ever imagine. And it's that journey to get to where you're going because guess what? You may have a detour or so, but it's the journey where you win your gold medal. So what does it look like in real life to take aim? Number one, acknowledge your fears and doubts. By confronting and acknowledging your self-doubt, you strip it of its power. You take it away. Because when you think about fear, what do you fear? You fear the unknown. But if you call it out and you say, oh man, I'm afraid that I'm going to break my leg. Okay, that's a real fear. But at least you've acknowledged it. Now you can find a way to overcome it. But if you sit there and say, oh, I'm just so scared. I don't know that I don't want to do this. I've done it before and I don't know. That doesn't do anything. That's just juggling false things up in a cloud that mean nothing. Right? It's kind of weird. It's like all this stuff with AI and even before that, you send stuff up in the cloud. I'm like, where are all my clouds? I got my podcast and TV shows in cloud somewhere. I'm like, can I see my cloud? Kind of be cool to see it. But when I try to wrap my earthly logical mind around this cloud that's holding all my data, and sometimes I'm thinking, will it just hold what's in my brain so I don't lose it too? It's hard for us to wrap ourselves around that, right? We got to get the stuff out of the cloud. You got to know your fears. You got to own them. You got to own your doubt. There's nothing wrong saying, I'm just doubting myself right now. The past 2 times I failed at this. Maybe you're one who's looking at getting into a new relationship. Maybe you got divorced or you recently broke it off with the love of your life, whatever it was. Maybe you were not married, doesn't matter. But now you found someone, but wait, there's this hesitation. You're not sure, gosh, do I continue forward? Because man, the last 2 relationships I've ever had and the one that was the longest, it didn't end very well. And I got hurt. And it was hard for me to get back up. Acknowledge your doubt. Because when you do, it's tangible. And you can do something with it. Brenda Bouchard, an entrepreneur, says this: the only way to get unstuck is to start moving. Action, regardless of how small, initiates a ripple effect that can dismantle the barriers of doubt. So when you acknowledge your doubt, it gives you that freedom to say, okay, that's there, but what can I do to move past it? How do I go around that doubt wall? How do I go over the fear? How can I be the overcomer? Acknowledge your fears and doubts. Number 2, set achievable goals. This is where you're setting yourself up for success. Right? At my age, 5 kiddos, 2 grandbabies. Let's not count all the dogs and the animals and all of that. How many moves under my belt? And me saying, I want to be an Olympian. Right now, at my age. Okay, there's no rules. There's not an age limit. But there is a strength limit. And as I get older, I can still have some strong muscle, but will I be able to perform to the degree that I would need to do on ice? I would like to dream that would be a yes. With a big smile on my face, but I know in reality that is not possible. And really, I would like to have both of my knees intact, both hips remain where they are, right? As we get older, I'm going to get a little more frail, not a lot. But things just aren't the same as like I was when I was in my tweens and teens and early 20s. They're just not. So set those achievable goals. Set yourself up for success. Break down your aspirations into manageable tasks and milestones. And by setting realistic and attainable goals, you not only create a roadmap for your progress, but you also provide yourself with a sense of accomplishment with each step forward. That means that when you say yes to something, you're saying yes to, I move forward. Right? Who wants to go backwards in time? Nobody does. Tony Robbins says this: setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. What do you need to make seen? Set achievable goals. Now, if they're achievable, great. Now, don't make them so easy. You got to make yourself stretch just a little bit, right? I mean, if you sit down to stretch out your legs, have you ever done the butterfly stretch? I love it. You sit down on your bottom. It's almost like crisscross applesauce spoons in the bowl. Okay, you're probably like, where are you going with this, Kristianne? Do you remember that in preschool? All right, yes, that's sitting, some would say Indian style, however you want to call it, okay? But you put your 2 feet together, all right? You're kind of making this little triangle, and it's the butterfly, and you can flap your legs, right? Well, back in the day when you're really young, man, you probably can push your knees all the way down, your hips are flexible, etc. Maybe as you've gotten older, maybe not so much anymore. Oh, wait, and now add where you bend all the way over and you can touch your nose to the ground. Can you do that? I'm not saying do it. But what I'm saying is allow yourself to be stretched a little bit more, right? You may not get your nose to the ground, but maybe you can get it just above your knees. Set those achievable goals. And then number 3, see the bright side. Seek out people who can uplift you and encourage you on your journey. You got to have the cheerleaders in your life, the ones that you respect, the ones that you know will love you regardless of the outcome. And when you fall, look at what you've gained. Building your bright side network who believe in your capabilities is the key here. Flip the coin to the other side to see what you have achieved. All of this can serve as a powerful antidote to self-doubt, meaning that when you don't think you've done something well, figure out what you did do well. Because there's always a bright side. Always. You may have to look a little bit harder. You may have to let the sting kind of settle down a little bit, but see the bright side. I'm sitting here going through the renovations and I'm like, I'm not sleeping in my same bed, which is very hard for me. I've been traveling so much anyway. And I'm like, will I ever get back in my bed? You know, there's nothing like being in your bed. Well, my bed is no longer in my house because we're under construction. So it has been moved out along with half of my house so we can do the wood floors and have all of this stuff done, which is fabulous. Don't get me wrong. But I want my bed. Right? I want my bed, not another bed. I want my bed. Okay. So how can I look at the bright side of things? My house is going to be basically brand new by the time this is all done. It's going to be absolutely stunning. And I'm going to be able to call it mine. That's the bright side. Even though right now I'm kind of feeling like I'm living in the dark side. I've got plastic up everywhere. I've got dust that is attached to the plastic, and I walk and I leave footprints, and I'm like, I got to clean this. I'm like, why clean it? Because it's just going to get dirty in the next 30 minutes, right? But what's the bright side? That's the key. Take aim, my friend. Action ignites motivation. The battle against self-doubt is won through intentional action and a steadfast commitment to your dreams and aspirations. What are you going for? What does it look like? And it's okay if their dreams change a little bit. It's okay if you end up not doing what you thought you wanted to do, but it looks differently. That's okay. That's called life. That doesn't make your dream less than. It makes your dream real. So embrace the power of movement, no matter how incremental, and watch as doubt disappears as you face beautiful progress. Remember, one step at a time leads to your miles of greatness. Go in peace, be present, be incredible, be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed day. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.